Gary Tyre fans, welcome back to another episode of Hoops with Football. We thought today will be the review of the Richmond versus Geelong game. Obviously, as we all know, didn't go the way we wanted it to. We end up going down. We did show some fight in that last quarter, I was getting worried that we weren't, and we were going to go down by 100 points, but we didn't, which is a good sign. Showed a bit of signs at the end. So it ended up being 10-9, 64 to 14-19. 103. So obviously it could have gone along a lot of different ways if Geelong had kicked straight, but obviously that could come off a bit of good pressure from us as well, not allowing them to have the freedom to do what they want. And our defence, probably to me, still putting their head up high and playing good. I think at the end of the day, the defence overall for the whole season can probably hold their hands up and their head up and say that they did the best they can. Because they probably did a lot better than most probably thought that our defence would. I think a lot of people thought a lot of games we would be going down by 100 plus. And that officially now confirms that Richmond did not have a single 100 plus loss game this year, which to me is a good box that we can tick. And it's another box that I would like to put back up on the screen for next year to not let happen again. Go in for another year where I'm not allowing them to be another 100-point loss. So, obviously, we'll break it down a little bit afterwards, but some good signs and some bad signs. But overall, the game, I'm glad that we put up a bit of fight at the end. And I'm pretty sure in the last quarter, what did we end up kicking like 5 goals to their 1? Double check. Yeah, we kicked 5 goals. In the last quarter, we kicked 5 goals 4, and they ended up kicking, 1 goal 2. So we kept them quite low on the scoring impact in that last quarter, and put a bit more of a better fight as well. We weren't too bad in the third either. They were just outclassed. It was really, in my opinion, it was really the young Cubs were outclassed by the old Cats, and that's just how I saw the game. But some good lessons we can take out of this. And more game experience into some young players as well. We'll go into next year with a big pre-season, get some players back in, and we'll see how we go. So, I'll do best on ground. I've named 5 players. In the comments below, can you give me the 5 players you think that were best on ground? I'll give you the reasons why I've picked them, and then we'll go through some stats for the players as well. I probably think the best on ground was probably Sam Banks. He had 1 behind, 30 disposals, 26 kicks, 7 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles, 1 clearance, and 590 metres gained. So he got back up to what he was at the start of the year when Jaden Short went out with his injury. Banksy went to the back, switched to the back, and he just hit above 400 every game. So he went back up to being in the high 500s, which is real good. You probably put Banks down for me is up there with him and maybe Seth Campbell and Ben Miller as the most improved player. I think that most improved award this year is going to be a challenging one to give away. Then I had Seth Campbell. I think he's been probably from last year. I think last year was his first year, so he's been a limelight for hopefully maybe what other players can do. You know, that after their next year after that they can step up and get a bit better. I think he's kicked 28 goals this year, and he's our leading goal kicker. Another Tassie boy wins it. I did see a stat. I think out of the last 47 seasons, 33 of them, leading goal kickers have been by Richmond. We know Jack held it up for quite some time. I'm pretty sure it would be Richo, probably Royce Hart, and now Seth Campbell. They've done it quite well. I just had him in front of my eyes for his stats, and I've just lost it. I think we'll just do it the easier way. We'll just go this way. So he ended up having 2 goals, 2. So you could have kicked 4. Could have had a big day out. 19 disposals, 10 kicks, 8 handballs, 8 marks, 3 tackles, 1 clearance, 305 metres gained. But I'm just happy that he's hit the scoreboard. He had a lull every now and then, but I think with the small forward like him, I think next year it's crazy. He's going to get even better, which I really look forward to seeing. Then I had Tom Lynch as my 4th player. Lynchy kicked 3 goals. And I think he started on quite well. And he seems like seems to be moving better as well around the ground. I know he's not going to be what he was when he first came here, but he seemed to have a bit more movement back in his body. I'm not sure whether that was the 5 weeks off and is giving him a chance to rest, or that now he's had a full season into him in a pre-season uninterrupted. After having nearly 2 years off, his body's kind of got back to what it needed to be. But yeah, 11 disposals, 10 kicks, 1 handball, 2 marks, and a hit out. Oh, what? Yeah, 1 hit out. So he did the temporary ruck, 2 goal assist, and so that wasn't bad from Tom Lynch. I would give him up there. And then I had my last one was Dion Prestia. Dion Prestia kicked 2 goals. 2 goals and 29 disposals, so you could probably nearly say the best midfielder for the whole entire game. 11 kicks, 18 handballs, 7 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 317 metres gained. A lot of the players seem to be minutes had been managed quite well. They're all in the 80s, in the mid 80s. There's not many people that were pushing into I don't think there's a single player in the 90s. There's one, which is probably insane that we probably need to talk about that as well. Ben Miller is the only player who probably didn't come off the ground. I've noticed the last few times. I could probably go over the season and start looking at it, how much we are starting to rely on him. And you could probably put Ben Miller and Young in there as some players who probably deserve to be in the best as well. They seem to do quite well. Ben Miller had 98% time on ground. That's insane. He nearly did not come off. So he may have only come off a little bit, for maybe 5 minutes overall for the whole entire game. So it just shows you how much we're relying on Ben Miller all around. I'm guessing maybe he just followed Jeremy Cameron around and that was it. So then I've done my good, bad, and ugly. I'll start with good because I had been... this stat we won is I'm going towards a stat, and it's our stoppages, which was quite impressive considering who we're going up against. We know we're not the best in the stoppage work at all this year, and we've been saying it's something we need to work on going into next year by injecting the speed and the pace to be able to get the ball and get out. We seem to be too slow. We all can agree the Hopper, Taranto, and Presti midfield and Jack Ross, it's just too slow, and that needs to be fixed. But this week we won the hit-outs by 31 to 30. Clearances, we actually balanced it all out overall. So overall, it was 30 to 30, which is really impressive that we actually matched up with Geelong, who were meant to be a top 4 side. Centre clearances, we won 12 to 9, which is another good sign that we were winning quite well. Obviously, we just weren't getting on the scoreboard. They won stoppage clearances to 18 to 21, but you got to have not going to win everything at once. But it's good to see this week we sort of probably focused on it a bit more and worked on our clearance works to find ways to improve that. I'm not sure whether that was injecting some young players in there, but it's something we need to work on next year because I'm pretty sure we are dead last in that stat for the whole year. Now my bad was inside 50 percentage. It definitely I think it needs to be improved on. I don't know what the league average is, but our season average is 45%, and this week we went in at 40%. I think it's all around, not even just about the accuracy from getting it in and kicking it. I think it's also about delivering it. Now that is also not just the midfield's fault. It's also works with a forward, and obviously we've got a young forward line, so in time it's going to improve. Obviously, once we improve the midfield delivery as well, we'll make it a bit easier. But hopefully in the off season we find a way to work on our midfield for leading patterns, creating space. Crumbing a lot better as well, getting in front of the ball or behind the ball. I just think the inside 50 percentage is a worrying sign. Is it from us not kicking it properly? It's something we're going to have to work on a lot better because we seem to get enough of the ball going inside 50, but the entries of inside 50 are generally a bit of a spray or on the boot. I think we need to improve on that sort of aspect of cleaning it up a bit more and making it a bit easier for the forwards as well. So, and then my ugly was the first half. It was pretty bad. So in the first quarter we kicked 2 goals 3, which I was really happy with. I think it was in the first 10 minutes we matched them, and then we dropped off and they ended up kicking 6 goals 7. It was 43 to 14 in the first quarter. It definitely felt like they had opened the floodgates. And we're probably going to tune us up, and maybe this is going to be a 2016 last game of the round like we did against Sydney, where they bet us by like 100. I think it was 104 points. And it was definitely going that way going into half time. We ended up kicking 1 point, so 2 goals, ended up being 2 goals, 3, which is 15, makes us 15 overall. They ended up being 11, 12, 78. So it definitely felt like going into the second quarter, we didn't make any adjustments to mitigate that, or stem the bleeding is another term I've seen a few times. It's not like we didn't do that either. But obviously, we did eventually improve on that. But I just felt like those first 2 quarters is the reason we probably didn't win the game, or we couldn't win the game. And it seems to be a common occurrence as well with our first halves. We seem to allow teams to blow up a good running lead for themselves, and then we try and fight back, which we did. No, I'm not against that, but yeah, that's definitely something I think we need to improve on. So, but overall, for my opinion on this game, there was good, then there was bad. You could probably say the first half was the bad, the second half was the good, and we start to see some of these young players emerging. And quite happy we got some more players more games into our young players. And I did see that Josh Gipkiss was subbed off, and he wasn't happy. And I will admit, I love that. This was sort of Tyler Sonsie-esque, where Uze subbed him off. Sonsie was pissed. Uze came down and chat to him, and I love that Uze does this. He comes down, he speaks to the players, and in his opinion, he tells them why he's subbed them off. And I like it. It was, hey Gipkiss, you played it. You know, your body got through what we given you. The 50s, I think it was 50% time overtime. Sorry, 56% time on ground. Pulled him off. All right, mate. You've done nothing wrong. It's just that we're going to get you rested. There's a chance he can play. He can play finals next week for the VFL, so he can get more games on his belt. But this is the taste of VFL. Now you remember what it's like. You can do it. Your body survived. Now we'll come back next year and we'll go again. So I feel bad for Uze, and I think it's going to be really hard for him to pick his team, his best 22 next year, or 23, depending on what they do with the sub rule. But we'll see how we go from there. All right, guys, that's it. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and thank you all for your support. Comments as well. I appreciate them, whether you guys want to tell me something I need to improve on, or if I've said some or categorized someone's name, or you think I've missed a bit of information, please leave in the comments below. I do appreciate that every single time. Stay safe and go Tigers.